Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Chapter 213. And as you can see, I'm wearing two layers. I'm wearing the sweater, and I'm wearing one of my Hero Academia shirts underneath it. It's just I unfortunately we're kind of I'm up here in Canada and we're experiencing a bit of a cold snap, so yeah, I had to put on at least another layer in order to do this review or survive doing this review, because it is a little. I'm in a warm house, but it's still pretty cold out there. So yeah. Um, with that having said, let's get to the review itself. And so yeah, the chapter this week didn't wait. So yeah, the chapter this week, it didn't waste any time in cutting past all the bullshit and getting right to the chase about. And it really dived deep into what exactly happened with Izuku, because we basically learned that Izuku had unknowingly tapped into the core power of into the power of one of his predecessors, and into the power of one of his predecessors, which is apparently stored in basically the core of One for All. And there's a lot to take from this, but I think the most important thing that this chapter did, though, in regards to learning about this core that exists within One for All, is that it actually addresses the biggest question that all of us as the readers have wondered about for the longest time, which is what happens when someone who already has a quirk inherits One for All. And this chapter, Horikoshi, he pretty much decided to, in order to give us that pretty much answer. And with that being the case, this reveal, and with that being the case, with this reveal about the previous holder's power being stored in One for All, it really makes me wonder if All Might had ever experienced this himself. Because from what we've seen so far, all we can from what we've seen so far of basically of what All Might did, of every time that All Might is using the power of One for All, it mostly seems like All Might has been using the base power of One for All this entire time, and never really tapped into any of the other powers of the quirk of One for All, except for maybe in his final battle with pretty much with basically all and except in the final battle with pretty much all for one. Although maybe what we can assume is that the power he's been using all this time has actually been the power from his has been the power of his master. So yeah, it should be. So yeah, and I'm not. I'm not. So, but even if whatever the case may be of what kind of power that All Might had been using all this time, it really kind of opens the door in order to just kind of explore All Might's backstory a lot more, and just learn exactly how much he pretty much actually knows. How much he actually knows about pretty much about the quirk of One for All, because a lot of the times Horikoshi has really been just kind of dancing around in terms of All Might's experience with using the quirks. But honestly, there's pretty much a lot we can explore with pretty much in terms of how much All Might actually knew about pretty much about One for All at this point. And yeah, this whole reveal of what happens when a person who has a quirk inherits One for All, it just opens up a lot of doors in order to explore more here. Um, and if All Might has ever, if All Might has ever experienced, but yeah, it'll be curious to see for sure if All Might has ever experienced this phenomenon himself, because even if he's just using the base power of One for All, his reaction to Izuku tapping into the core definitely did leave him quite shaken. So he might know something that pretty much based off the conversation he had with pretty much Gran Torino. So yeah, I think All Might at least knows a little bit more than what he's letting on, for sure. I think. The other big question that I'm curious about is that Izuku was given the warning that the core is growing stronger. So it makes me wonder if it makes me it makes me kind of wonder if it's just playing into the simple fact that he's I think the ninth holder, I think it was, yeah, the ninth holder, and is coming in and has come this far into mastering One for All, or if a lot of the theories about Izuku having some kind of dormant quirk is kind of going to play a part too. Is going to play a part here. I'm hoping it's a lot more of the former than the latter, because with this whole setup of everyone's powers being pretty much being stored, being vestiges of everyone's of his predecessor's powers being stored in One for All. With that kind of a setup, with that kind of setup, he's basically already powerful enough. So I don't think that there's really any need in order to make him a lot more powerful, but by pretty much giving his own quirk. And I guess that is the one drawback to I guess don't get me wrong, I love this setup, and I do love how we finally got an answer as to what happens when when someone who has a quirk inherits One for All. I like all that stuff, but if I am being honest, there is an aspect to this where there's an aspect of this where the one drawback is that this reveal for me, while it answers the questions of what happens to those inheritors who already have a quirk, it is kind of venturing a little dangerously close into the typical short trope of a shonen main character having an extremely powerful, having this insane power up territory, with the only difference here being still that Izuku has to train in order to harness that power. But it's not a big deal, but it is kind of a, again, it's not a big deal, but it is endangering. Horikoshi is kind of venturing into that territory by doing this. But again, the whole reveal of what happens when the quirk is passed on, that more than made up for it. And yeah, after all that, we cut back to the exercise, which after the past couple chapters we've had, there were actually times where I kind of forgot that the training exercise was still going on. Hell, I thought it would have been canceled after that whole display, but nevertheless, it's still going on, and I like how we got to see Uraraka pretty much still going in and doing her thing against Monoma, which was really cool, and even Ashido and Mineta basically going in and throwing themselves into the fight was surprisingly kind of awesome. But again, I think it's just because I forgot that the fight was going on, and those little tidbits were just nice little reminders that that this exercise is still going on, and they're kind of they're still doing kind of pretty well, I'd say. But of course, the big thing to talk about us returning to the team exercise is the setup we've been waiting for. The long anticipated rematch between Izuku and Shinzo, which I'm so excited for, but at the same time, I'll be honest with you, this is definitely one of those times where I want Shinzo to, in order to pretty much win over Izuku this time. Like, even if Class A as a whole ends up claiming victory in the end, I still want Shinzo to win, because I feel he pretty much deserves it almost. Like, it feels like, if in a lot of ways that during this whole thing, it feels like pretty much Shinzo has been claiming a little bit of that main character spotlight over Izuku right now, and yeah, I want him to. I really want him to win a rematch with Izuku for sure. And honestly, I'd even prefer it. And honestly, in a way, I'd even prefer it if it went that route where Izuku lost to Shinzo, but Class 1A ended up winning the exercise, because if there's one thing I've liked about these past couple of chapters, now that I've gone back and read them, is how much Uraraka has actually taken charge as a leader. And it was made crystal clear in this chapter how much that Uraraka has actually taken to the role as well. Like Uraraka, I think has come a long way, has become so confident where she has a lot more development ahead of her, I'm sure, but I do like how she is starting to exhibit signs of of leadership in general, to be honest with you. So yeah, I feel that if even if Izuku loses, I feel that Uraraka can still basically lead, is gonna be capable enough in order to lead this current team of Class 1A to victory almost. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and no list to Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.